Jessica had always felt that the ocean was calling her. Even as a child, she would sit for hours by the shore, staring at the endless blue horizon, feeling as if something, or someone, was waiting for her beneath those waves. The sea wasn't just water to her, it was a heartbeat, a rhythm that spoke directly to her soul. When she grew older, Jessica moved closer to the coast. Every morning, she would walk along the beach, letting the salty wind kiss her face. She loved the cries of the gulls, the crashing waves, and the mystery of what lay hidden under the surface. Yet deep inside, she always felt incomplete, like the ocean held a secret meant only for her. That secret revealed itself one calm afternoon. Jessica was swimming far beyond the safe zone, letting herself drift with the current, when suddenly a massive shadow passed beneath her. Her heart raced. At first, she thought it might be a shark, but then the shadow rose gently, breaking the surface with a sound that was both powerful and graceful. It was an orca. Jessica froze. The giant's black and white body glistened under the sun, water streaming off his smooth skin. His eyes, dark, deep, and intelligent, met hers. Instead of fear, Jessica felt something else entirely. It was as if those eyes were speaking, reaching straight into her chest. The orca circled her slowly, careful not to frighten her. Jessica's fear melted away, replaced by wonder. She stretched out her hand, trembling, and to her shock, the orca came close, so close that her fingertips brushed his sleek skin. A surge of warmth rushed through her body, though the water was freezing cold. She felt alive in a way she had never felt before. From that day, Jessica returned to the same spot again and again. And every time, he was there. The orca would appear like a silent guardian, rising from the depths as if he had been waiting only for her. At first, they shared playful moments. He would splash water toward her with his tail, and she would laugh like a child. Sometimes, she swam beside him, matching his movements as best as she could, though his speed and grace far outshined hers. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Jessica realized she wasn't just fascinated, she was in love. This wasn't an ordinary bond. She found herself thinking about him when she lay in bed at night, replaying the way his dark eyes held her gaze. She felt safer with him than with any human she had ever met. Jessica named him Kale. It felt right, though she didn't know why. Whenever she whispered his name by the shore, Kale would surface, as if answering her call. Their connection grew stronger, like an invisible thread pulling them together. There were moments when Jessica forgot she was human and he was an orca. She would rest her hand on his back as he carried her across the waves, faster than any boat. She would laugh as he leaped into the air, splashing down with a thunderous crash, only to rise again by her side. And when she looked into his eyes, she felt a tenderness so deep it scared her. But Jessica didn't care what others would say. She stopped meeting friends, stopped answering calls. Her whole world became Kale and the ocean. With him, she felt free, unbound by society, by rules, by fear. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with shades of gold and crimson, Jessica pressed her forehead against Kale's smooth skin. Her voice shook as she whispered, "I love you." Kale responded with a soft, mournful sound, almost like a song. It vibrated through her chest, and tears filled her eyes. She didn't know what the future held, but in that moment, Jessica was certain, her heart belonged to the orca. Jessica's days became a rhythm of waiting, swimming, and loving. Each sunrise reminded her that somewhere beneath the vast ocean, Kale was waiting. And without fail, he appeared. It was as if he could sense her heart beating from miles away. The bond between them grew deeper, richer, something far beyond what words could describe. Jessica no longer feared the depths of the ocean. With Kale by her side, she felt invincible, as though nothing in the world could harm her. Their meetings turned into rituals. Kale would greet her with a leap from the water, crashing back with a thunder that sent waves racing toward the shore. Jessica would laugh, her hair dripping wet, clapping her hands as if welcoming a long-lost lover. Then she would dive in, and together they would dance through the water. Sometimes, Cale would let her cling to his back, carrying her far into the open sea. The horizon stretched endlessly, but Jessica never felt lost. The rhythm of Cale's movement beneath her was all the direction she needed. She would lay her head against his slick skin, listening to the faint vibrations of his song, a song that seemed meant only for her. At night, Jessica dreamt of him. She dreamt of his eyes, dark pools that held secrets she would never fully understand. She dreamt of his gentle nudges, the way he would push her closer to the shore if she swam too far, protecting her as though she were fragile. She dreamt of a love that defied nature itself. One moonlit evening, Jessica brought something with her, a small seashell necklace she had made. As Cale surfaced, she held it high, laughing nervously. "This is for you," she whispered. Of course, he could not wear it, but she placed it gently against his fin, as though gifting him a piece of her heart. Cale responded by circling her 3 times, his low, rumbling call echoing through the water like a vow. Jessica's chest tightened. It was their secret ceremony, their own version of a promise. The world around her began to fade. Friends noticed her absence. Calls from family went unanswered. Jessica wasn't sick, wasn't sad, she was simply consumed by love. To her, Cale was not just an orca. He was a soul, a companion, the missing half she never thought she would find. One afternoon, while the sky was painted in soft blues and whites, Cale surprised her. He rose suddenly beneath her, lifting her high into the air before crashing back into the sea. Jessica screamed in delight, her arms spread wide like wings. In that fleeting moment, she felt she was flying, carried by the strength of the ocean itself. Afterward, she clung to him, pressing her face against his skin. The salty spray mixed with her tears, though she wasn't sad. They were tears of joy, of wonder, of a love so powerful it frightened her. "I don't want to lose you," she whispered. Cale's response was gentle, a soft brush of his head against her. His touch said everything words could not, "I am here. I am yours." Jessica often wondered if the ocean gods were watching them, if this forbidden love was a blessing or a curse.
This is so amazing.
Yet every time Cale's eyes locked with hers, she chose not to care. Their love was real. That was enough. But deep inside, Jessica felt a shadow. Love that burned too bright often carried a warning. She could sense it in the way Cale sometimes swam off to the distance, only to return with urgency. She felt it in the sudden silence of the waves, the way the sea seemed to hold its breath when they were together. Still, she ignored the unease. Because when she was with Cale, the world was whole, and her heart knew only one truth: she belonged to him, and he belonged to her. As the days passed, Jessica realized she no longer measured time in hours or minutes. Her life was divided only into 2 moments, when she was with Cale, and when she was waiting for him. For months, Jessica lived in a dream. Each day with Cale felt like stolen magic, a secret love story written on the waves. She stopped caring about the world outside. To her, there was no city, no people, no noise, only the endless sea, and him. But the sea is never predictable. Even love born in the ocean must bow to its wild nature. One stormy afternoon, Jessica rushed to the shore despite the warnings. Dark clouds rolled overhead, and waves pounded the beach with furious strength. But she knew Cale would be waiting. Her heart beat with the same rhythm as the crashing tide. And there he was. Cale surfaced through the storm, his massive body slicing through the angry water. Jessica's fear melted the moment their eyes met. Without hesitation, she dove in. The ocean swallowed her whole, pulling her into its cold embrace. Yet she felt no fear. Cale was there. Cale would always protect her. At first, everything felt the same. He circled her gently, allowing her to grab onto his back. Together, they cut through the towering waves, rising and falling with the storm. Jessica laughed wildly, her hair plastered to her face, her body clinging to him as if he were her only anchor. But something in Cale's movements felt different. His calls were louder, sharper, echoing with an edge Jessica had never heard before. He seemed restless, his body jerking beneath her, as though fighting an unseen force inside him. "Cale," Jessica whispered, her voice trembling. "It's me. I'm here." For a moment, he calmed. His dark eyes locked onto hers, and she saw the same soul, the same tenderness she had always trusted. But then, in an instant, it changed.
This is always the best.
Cale lunged. Jessica barely had time to scream before the water erupted around her. His jaws opened wide, teeth flashing as he snapped toward her with a force that shook the sea itself. She kicked, pushed, pleaded, but the ocean muffled her cries. The very creature she loved, the one she trusted more than life itself, had turned against her. Terror and heartbreak collided inside her chest. She reached out one last time, her hand brushing his skin, not with fear, but with aching love. Her tears mixed with the salt water as she whispered into the storm, "I still love you." Cale's massive body thrashed, and the water turned crimson. The ocean roared with thunder as Jessica disappeared beneath the waves. When the storm finally broke, the sea was calm again. The horizon stretched endlessly, as though nothing had happened. Only a single seashell necklace floated near the shore, the one Jessica had once given Cale. Locals claimed the ocean had claimed her. Some said it was a tragic accident, others whispered that she had gone mad, chasing a love that was never meant to be. But those who listened closely swore they could still hear the haunting song of an orca echoing through the waters at night. Cale's mournful calls carried across the sea, a song of love and loss, of devotion and betrayal. It was as if he, too, was grieving, for the girl who had loved him more than anyone else ever could. Jessica's story became a legend, a warning, and a love story all at once. A reminder that the ocean gives, but it also takes. That love can be beautiful, but it can also destroy. And somewhere beneath the waves, an orca swam alone, carrying forever the memory of the girl who had once whispered his name like a prayer.